in Berwyn, Illinois, 22nd annual North-South Challenge, Future versus Flashback. You're looking at the Future team. Flashback also black and Columbia blue, but they're wearing lighter pants, so could be a little confusing for an old guy like me, but we'll try to get through it. So you just heard Will Russ, a little surprising. BTA came out, a lot of fire, ended up mercy ruling Whale. So I don't think BTA winning was necessarily a surprise, but Whale's been playing everybody tough. So we're off to a good start. A lot of runs been scored in this tournament by a lot of teams. So we're off to a good start. And tomorrow when we live stream during the day, they'll be using that B field, which is down in the left field corner here. And you can see the way the outfield is structured. It's going to be mass chaos tomorrow, as there's going to be a lot of guys in the outfield. So Flashback will be the visitor and Future the home team. Future coming off a good run at the TOC a couple of weeks ago, and they look like they're a pretty loose, confident group. And the injury report on, I believe he was the second baseman who hurt his nose. He's fine. He's been playing. So and we got a loose ball here on the field. Marty.
Hey, Ryan.
So kick that out of play. And no, Gio was not a soccer player back in the day. So second game of our doubleheader here. Chucks looked awful good, but the wind was howling out. They put up 18. Hall of Fame from Iowa, talking to them. They come in very light. They're missing 6. Yes, you heard me, 6 starters. So we'll see what they do late game. Won't be live streaming it, but we'll keep an eye on it. So leading off, Brian Kearns will be followed by Danny Dispenza. Mike Manziel, a little roller, shortstop, comes in and makes the play. Nicely done by the shortstop, as Brian Kearns thought he was just going to hit a slow roller and beat it out, but shortstop came flying in. He did bounce the throw. Good job by the first baseman as he handled it with relative ease. Dom Stacy, and he is related to Anthony Stacy, who plays on Flashback. So that brings up the said he's got the better hair. And Dispenza, hard ground ball up the middle, short center, plants and throws, in safe. So the short center that time made a nice play, but he also spiked the throw, Kevin Kozel, and that time Dom Stacy couldn't dig it out. So it brings up Mike Manzella. And first time I believe we will see Justin Smykowski, who's here. Terrific center fielder for Flashback. And Manzella goes opposite field. He drives it, but the left fielder, nice catch. Dispenza will tag and go to second. Good heads-up base running there by Dispenza. And the left fielder, JT Redis, made the catch. Then he went down on a knee. JT didn't even bother throwing it to second. He knew once he made contact with the ground, he wouldn't be able to make the throw. And here is Julian Gutierrez. PJ Raines on deck. We're good. And Julian hits a pop-up, long run, and the short center got there, and he makes the play. So Flashback got a break on the ground ball on Dispenza. They can't do anything with it, and we're going to head to the bottom of the first. No score early here. And for those of you checking us out on the live stream, this is Chicago-style 16-inch softball. You're seeing it correct. No mitts. 99% of what we do out here is no glove. We only run 2 glove tournaments. And this is also the second leg of what we call the Chicago Summer Series, where we take the big tournaments here in the Chicago area and we tied them under the umbrella of the Chicago Summer Series. And We keep the statistics pinned to the top of the page. You'll see a sheet that has links to our Game Changer live tournament bracket. Tournament bracket's a little behind right now, but we'll get it updated after this game, and you can follow the action. So we're playing 1-on-1 count today, 6-12 on the arc. Can lead off, but you can't steal. We use heavy bats up to 38 ounces. Here's the leadoff man, Joey Kutnick, and Joey does what he does, base hit. This kid is an on-base machine, starting to make a little bit of a name for himself. And that's going to bring up Kevin Kozel. And the one thing about Future is they're a young group, but they have a real good idea of what they're doing with bats in their hands. They were very impressive during the Dome season. And they had a great run at the TOC. Little ground ball, Joey Agardo. Now the ball gets thrown into center. Kutnick is flying. He's going to try to score, and he will. So little routine ground ball. Joey Agardo, one of the best defensive shortstops in the game. The ball kind of jumped up on him. Tried to rush a shovel over to P.J. Raines playing short center, and the ball went into the outfield, 1-0, Future. And that's going to bring up the second baseman, Pat Donahue. And there's a ground ball. Jeff Hernandez knocks it down. He'll recover, and they get an out. So flashback, that was a potential double play ball, but it was hit hard. Here's Ryan Rogers. Base runner did get to second here. Well, this is an open tournament, Adam, so we have major teams and A teams. And I think a couple of B teams got in as well. And Rogers, fly ball, Smykowski, and he'll just throw it toward home plate. So 2 outs, runner at third now. And here comes the right fielder, Sam Como.
Hey, Sam, let's go. Your best ball.
And I think if you're flashback, especially being a visitor, they're not going to panic. They have what I like to call the big boy offense.
Best ball right now, let's go.
But I think if you're flashback, your fear as managers, you don't want these young kids who. And there's a big 2-out hit, 2-0. Very nice stroke there. We'll show you the replay. So 2 outs, he drives in the second run.
Hey, good arms out there.
Didn't try to do much, just punched the line drive.
Nobody near you. 5 feet away.
So 2-0, early lead for Future.
Take it out of He's nowhere near you.
And there's a swing and another base hit. That's to the alley. Smykowski slides and kicked it to the right fielder. Another run scores as John Kepachusida drives in a run. A lot of vowels in that name. So right off the bat, Future 3-0. We did see Iron jump on Signature early last night in a game that was live streamed. Signature, too big a hole, couldn't dig out. Here's Dom Stacy. And Dom, a little squibber off the bat, hits it to his brother Anthony, and Anthony couldn't make the play, and another run scores. 4-0 Future.
I didn't like that.
3 straight 2-out hits here. Jeff Hernandez, I think, is a little frustrated. Brings up Bob Suchecki, the third baseman.
Nice drive, let's go, best ball. Good, Dom. Nobody near you, nobody near you.
I'm sure Dom is going to have bragging rights, at least for a little while, over Anthony.
Way off.
And again, it looked like he hit it off the end of the bat. It was a little spinner. So
Strikes 2 out.
Like I said, your fear of your flashback is you don't want to let the young kids. And there's another base hit with 2 outs. Dom is going to get all the way to third. Now the ball gets through the cutoff man. No damage done. So Flash a little shaky here early in the ball game. They do have Mike Marasovic. Again, they could have been out of the inning with no runs, but a big costly error early in this inning. And here comes JT Redis. Runners on the corner.
Take another one. There's nobody near you.
4-0 Future.
Nobody near you. You're good. Take another one. You're good. You're not.
And Redis pounds a hit. Another run scores. Future refusing to make the third out here. Brings up JD, Jeremy Doherty.
Jeremy, right now. Go, Jer. 2 outs. You got the pitch right at the first base.
And I'm a little surprised that, Jeff Hernandez does manage the team, but I'm a little surprised that Bobby Rush Jr. hasn't taken a walk out there just to slow the game down.
Take another one. Nobody near you.
And there's a high pop-up that's going to be out of play. So Future coming out of the gate strong here. Bottom of the first.
Strikes 2 out.
And that's always, when you play these younger teams, the game can be kind of a roller coaster. And a lot of times the younger teams, they'll go real good. A little roller to Mike Myers, slight fumble, but he recovers. And at the end of one, 5-0 Future as they bat 10 and 5 score.
Hey, stay out. You're gonna hit. Stay out.
So very good inning there for the Future Ball Club. And we'll have to see how Flashback responds. They're not going to panic. And they do have a pretty good lineup out here today. And there's young Will Russ. They're already calling for the bullpen, Will. They want you in the ball game. Kudos to George Bliss checking this out from Sarasota, Florida. Well, I did blow my nose before the game, Amalia, but a little dust and a little chilly. So hopefully we'll get through this one. Yeah, I mentioned that too, Rusty. So here's PJ Raines leading off. The only difference is Flashback wearing the Columbia blue pants. And there's a line drive, base hit. PJ Raines starts off the inning with a hard single through the infield. Of course, PJ, a legacy kid, his dad, Petey Raines, on the ball club. He's a longtime player.
Liners through.
And here's Justin Smykowski. I'm actually going to get off the line here a little bit. And Justin, sinking line drive, it drops. Good read there by Raines. And Justin Smykowski, a little hard humpback. And with Justin, it's always about pitch selection. Sometimes he has a tendency to swing at the low pitch. I know won't get a lot of authority behind the swing, but that was about mid-thigh. Here's Joey Agardo. But mid-thigh to the letters. Flat out rates. So here's Joey Agardo. First 2 hitters on here, top of the second. And Joey goes hard to the gap, and that's going to get down. And now there's a little confusion. 2 runs are going to score. Joey Agardo puts Flashback on the board at 5-2. Still nobody out here. As
We're hitting.
get a quick replay here on the swing. I think I was a little too late there on the replay, folks. Sorry. And here's Ryan Russ. So big hit, and I know Joey probably feels good about that after the. And there's Ryan Russ. He delivers a hit. Edgardo will stop at third. Runners on the corner, nobody out. Flashback, punching right back. And here's Anthony Stacy. And a lot of times you'll see that a big team flash went dry. They got hit with a 5 spot. And now it looks like they're kind of re-engaged now and plugged in. Stacy, little ground ball, and his brother has trouble. So Stacy to Stacy, second time in the game, and neither one of them made the play. So it's still 2 on here. So there go the bragging rights. So here's Shane Lawler now, still nobody out. First and second for Flashback.
Come on, Shane.
And that's a little deep. So with the 1-1 count, you can see everybody's up there hacking. We have not really seen too many pitches getting taken. And that's a little deep. Mike Myers waiting for his turn. Flashback is hitting 12. You are allowed to do that in this tournament, and that's flat. So now the bases are loaded for nobody out. And Mike Myers is going to hit with Jeff Hernandez on deck, and I see Petey Raines is grabbing a bat. Again, the one thing about Flashback, they do have Mike Mirosevich, Moji, one of the best pitchers in the game, and they got Will Russ, so they got pitchers and option. And Myers strokes it to right, and it drops. 1 run is in. And the bases will remain loaded. Mike Myers delivers, still nobody out, 5-4. Little sinking line drive. The right fielder looked like he was having a little bit of an issue, and you can see he just couldn't make the play there. So Petey Raines, the lefty, hits 5-4. And still nobody out here. Again, this field, there's been some runs scored on it early in this tournament. Good crowd tonight on a Friday night here in Berwyn. And Petey hits it off the end of the bat, and the right fielder does make the catch. And they get it in, but we are all tied at 5. So brand new ball game here in the top of the second. And back to the flash top with Brian Kearns. That was the first out of the inning. Runners on the corners now. So if you're not doing anything this weekend, folks, come out to Janura Park, 28th and East Avenue in Berwyn. And Kearns, a little roller, and it sneaks through, and Flash is taking the lead. Myers will get to third. So a little ground ball by Kearns snuck through the infield. Gives Flashback their first lead of the day as they've erased the 5-0 deficit. And it brings up Danny Dispenza, and Danny goes big, but hung up in the air. Another run scores. Kearns will get to second. 7-5 Flashback. As they've exploded here in the top of the second. 2 outs now. Another runner in scoring position for Mike Manzella. And Mans, Stacy makes the play. So we're going to head to the bottom of the second. New ball game, new leader. Flashback leads 7-5. We'll show you this Dom Stacy play here. That ball was hit hard. And good job there by Dom. He knocked it down. And then he made sure the ball stayed right there. So Flashback in the second inning spins the lineup. They put up a big crooked number, and they take the lead. So it's going to be 11-1-2. Jordan Purrs, Joey Kutnick, and Kevin Kozel coming up for future. Now, if if you're running the Future Ball Club, what you do is you got to tell the guys, no big deal. I think anytime you're playing a flashback or a signature type team with these high-powered offenses, you know you got to hit to be in the ball game. So now you just got to keep the same framework. And really, and there's a high pop-up. Smikowski's there, and he puts it away. You just got to say to yourself, it's 2-0. You got to have a short memory and forget about that 5-0 lead. So here's Joey Kutnick. He started that big first inning with a base hit to center field. Again, this is Janura Park in Berwyn, and we are live. And Kutnick, a little flip the other way, but Ryan Russ puts it away for out number 2. So this is the third time slot of the day here. Teams that played at 6:30 and 7:30 all hanging around and watching. And we got a lot of fans from the neighborhood just kind of checking it out. And here's Kevin Kozel. So a lot of these future guys were hardball players in high school, and they've made the transition very well. And he just called a strike 3. It was like slow motion there on the call. I think Kevin couldn't believe it. I think he thought the pitch was high for where it landed. Again, with the 6-12 arc, there is no mat. And the higher you throw it, the shorter it must land toward the point of the plate. The flatter you throw it, it can land deeper behind the plate.
That was just like the pitch to Spencer last night.
Well, Steve, if you throw this up on your big screen, it's perfect. And unfortunately, it doesn't let me scale the size of the scoreboard. And I think they do that because if you were to go to our YouTube page and put it on a smart TV, or if you pull Facebook up on a smart TV, the scoreboard would be the right size. So on a cell phone, I know it's a little rough. So here we go, top of the third. Julian rifles it down the line, fair ball, and now the JT, a little problem, but a stand-up double for Julian Gutierrez leading off here. So here's PJ Raines. Now, the flashback mentality generally early in a ball game is not to play for one run. So they're gonna go ahead and encourage PJ to try to get a hit here. It's flashback generally, and he does get a hit as he pounds it toward the gap. Center fielder got a hand on it, slipped on the grass, back-to-back doubles. PJ Raines, and flashback puts another one on the board as we show you the replay. And that's going to bring up Smikowski. So flashback kind of got a wake-up call there in the bottom of the first. They've been all business since. And Smikowski hits a hard grounder. Short center can't make the play. Raines will score. And Smikowski on base again. 9-5 flashback. They've scored 9 straight runs to take the lead.
He's going to drop the first one.
Last time left center.
Flashback missing Vito Iovino tonight, I believe. I didn't see Vito over there.
Two strikes.
And no Joe Piscitelli. So they're missing 2 excellent players tonight, and their lineup is still loaded with hitters. I've been saying all year that top to bottom, they may have the best roster in softball. They just probably won't see the whole crew out until the no-go.
Halfway.
And there's a little pop-up. And he drops the ball. Now Smykowski is going to make it. Center fielder had a little bit more time to get Justin. You might have heard Will Russ tell him halfway, because if he catches it, you're not tagging. Smykowski, good hustle to get down
I said
there.
halfway. He said tag.
And it brings up Ryan Russ. And Ryan, a hard ground ball caught by the third baseman, and that's all he'll get. As Joey Agardo got a good break on that, and Ryan runs like a deer. And it brings up Anthony Stacy. First out of the inning. And I was talking to some of the Chucks guys that played the first game, and Stacy, and that gets through the second baseman, and another run scores. Russ gets the third. 10 straight runs over the course of the last 2 innings here. And I'm surprised Chicken or somebody hasn't come out to maybe try to slow the game, but runners on the corner here. This flashback starting to heat up here. And there's a high fly ball, and that's going to score another run, 11-5. So Shane Lawler, a little sacrifice fly, and here's Mike Meyer. Again, I think Future is a young team, and what they've been doing is they're starting to beat all of those teams that they should beat. Now they need to take that next step, which is learning to play and compete against teams like Flash. Myers gives it a ride, but that'll be the third out. We'll head to the bottom of the third, 11-5. Flashback. So we'd like to pay some bills here. I'd like to thank Sweet Buzz, our anchor partner for the Chicago Summer Series. They sell infused products. If you're an adult over 18 or 21, I'm not quite sure. Check them out. And we got some big news about Sweet Buzz that we'll be kind of releasing in the next few weeks. And Nick Draybolt from Moneyline, number 77, part owner of that company. So feel free to talk to him tomorrow. If you're out here at the tournament, he'll give you the scoop on it. So leading off is going to be the 3-hitter, Pat Donahue. And Pat swings and hits it right up the elevator shaft. And you don't see that very often. Ryan Russ got there, and then he dropped it. And Donahue, running all the way, didn't take it for granted. Again, Ryan Russ came way over. He was in center field. Would have probably been an easier play for Smykowski. Ryan was calling it all the way, and then he just fumbled it. So leadoff man on third. And Gibbs is kind. I think Mike Myers, because Flash's defense has not been up to their normal standards, and I think Mike Myers has been on this team a long time, just kind of wanted to get Gibbs to smile a little bit. Here's Ryan Rogers. And Gibbs a hyper-competitive guy, and when I was over there running flashback on occasion, because what am I going to tell Jeff Hernandez, the kid's going in the Hall of Fame someday, about pitching, but I would go out there, and there's a little soft fly ball. Dispenza there, he's got a gun. He'll go ahead and throw it home, but no chance.
That way, right?
So Future snaps the 11-run streak by Flashback, and they put one on the board, 11-6. So when I would go out to talk to Jibbs, I just wanted to give him a chance to kind of blow off a little steam when the team was maybe not playing well behind him. And there's a sky-high pop-up, and Myers makes the catch for out number 2. So Sam Como pops up to Mike Myers. It's going to bring up John Cappuccitti. And there's a high, another pop-up, and this time Smykowski does take control, and Future does get a run, and that's it. So we're going to head to the 4th. So I would just let Jibbs vent for a few minutes, and then I would just kind of tell him, hey, keep plugging away, keep doing what you're doing. And just to give him a kind of mental break, if you know what I mean. But trust me, I wasn't telling him how to pitch the hitters. So Future desperately in need of a goose egg as we head to the top of the 4th. And they did hit for Jeff Hernandez. And I say all the time, sometimes when you don't see a team, and Jibbs a good example of it, usually the first time through a lineup, you can maybe get to him, and then after that, after he's seen your setup, he'll adjust what he's doing. And we see a lot of guys like that. So Jeff Hernandez is going to be leading off, and then he'll be at the top of the lineup. So if you're Future, you'd like to get Jibbs out. And a lot of people don't realize that when Jeff Hernandez was younger, he won a batting title at a major. And he hit it pretty good, but right at JT Redis. And that's going to bring up Brian Kearns. You know what? I'm not sure who won that game, Doc. Or Trav, I should say, but I know it was tied late at 4-4. Impact had to play extra innings to get to that game. Because they had the one game both nights out here. We had a 6:30 team that had to play a second game back-to-back, and it took them 8 innings to get past Splash. So here's Dispenza, one out base runner. And Danny hits a little fly ball, long run. Redis makes the catch after he had a little bobble. No advancement. So here's Mike Manzella. Future 1 out away from getting what they need here, which is a goose egg. And that's all you can do here. You got punched in the mouth in the 2nd and the 3rd. Just got to try to get your legs back under you. Try to recapture a little momentum. And they'll have 7, 8, 9 coming up in the bottom half of the inning. Manzella shoots it down the line. That's going to be a fair ball. Kearns flying. They're going to send him. He will score the 12th run as Mike Manzella hits a rocket down the left field line. He drives in run number 12 for Flashback with 2 outs. So both teams doing a great job of 2-out hitting in this ball game. So they've doubled him up at 12-6. Here's Julian Gutierrez. The next leg of the Chicago Summer Series will be in a couple of weeks for the SSA Midsummer Classic. And it's starting to fill up. That's going to be at Bolger Park in Melrose. So if you want to get in, you need to reach out to Pat Caputo. And there's a towering fly ball. Right fielder started back, but he'll make the play. And that's 3 outs. So we're getting halfway through. Flashback in control, 12-6. So reach out to Pat Caputo. That's always a real fun event. And it should be another great weekend for the Chicago Summer Series.
That's literally what I do. I just pop it off.
Well, you know, it's not like throwing a baseball, so your mechanics don't necessarily matter as much. We've seen a lot of pitchers with weird release angles, and you know, they do weird things with how they do it. And there's a hard ground ball. Myers laid out, but he couldn't make the play. Don Stacy on for his second time. I think what it comes down to, Malia, is a couple of things. One, if they know the hitters, certainly helps. But two, the good ones know where the ball's actually going when it leaves their hand. And there's a hard ground ball. Shane Lawler surrounds it, kept the ball in front of him, made the play. Stacy does move up 60 feet. So I think it's knowledge of the hitters, being able to control where you're throwing it. And JT goes big, but Ryan Russell be there. He'll just lob it in, and runner tags and advances. And I used to always tell people, if you want to know who the good pitchers are, count the missiles. If you see a team and they're just loading up and hitting bombs everywhere, or they're slicing up your infield because they're able to hit the ball exactly where they want, then the pitcher's not doing anything to disrupt their timing. And because most guys in 16-inch walk up on the ball, the hard fakes, the hesitations, that stuff matters. And there's a little short flare. Iggy going back, and he one-hands it. Joey Agardo on a sprint reached up, a little jump, and one-handed the little fly pop. And that was nicely done by Iggy for the third out. So we're going to head to the fifth, 12-6. So like I say, just count the missiles, because if you're not seeing a lot of hard contact, the pitcher's doing his job. And again, it is underhand. Most teams 1 through 5, 1 through 6 are going to do some form of damage. The real secret is, what do you do with 7 to 11 or 7 to 10? Those are the guys that, if they're getting on base, you generally have a big problem. So Iggy, nice play. Leading off is going to be PJ Raines. And PJ hammers it to right, and it gets past the right fielder. PJ hustling around. This is going to be a solo shot leading off the fourth as he goes into Cadillac mode. You can see he hit that ball real hard, and it just didn't come down. Brings up Smykowski, 13-6. It was funny. Some guys told me coming into the weekend that PJ had cooled off a little bit, but he's looked fantastic tonight swinging the bat. And Smykowski goes a hard humpback. And Justin, big turn, but he'll come back. So Justin been on all 3 times tonight. And it brings up Joey Agardo. And folks, these guys are missing 2 heavy bats tonight, Pish and Vito. So, and it's interesting, I was talking to somebody earlier, And Joey walks the dog down the right field line. Smykowski's going to get to third. Joey slides in. Does not hold on to the ball there as Iggy walks the dog down the right field line. For a sliding double. So again, tough play for a short center there. The ball got there at the same time Iggy was sliding in. Second and third here, and here's Ryan Russ. And Ryan tries to duplicate, but it'll go foul. And you can see all of the people lined up here. They're also down the left field line there. Whale hanging out here enjoying themselves. And that right field line on field C, got a lot of fans and a lot of people in the parking lot getting a beverage or something to eat. Going to be a beautiful day tomorrow, mid-70s. Grab your lawn chair and a sweatshirt and come on out. And Ryan goes big. Redis going back. Can't make the catch. 2 runs are going to score. Ryan's going to turn it on. Now he's going to make the turn. Throw to the plate. Safe. So Ryan Russ leaned on it. JT Redis went back, just couldn't handle it. 3 more runs now. 16-6 flashback as Ryan Russ loaded up and brings up Anthony Stacy. 16-6. They've outscored Futures 16-1 since falling behind. And there's a little overhand cut, but Redis got a great read on it, makes the catch. So anyways, I don't think I ever finished that thought. I was talking to my good friend Brady Fisher on Chuck, who's an elite defender. And he was saying during their game there was a wind. It's very calm right now. Here's Shane Waller. And he said not only was the ball flying, but he said, and there's a little ground ball, and that'll do it. So we're gonna head to the bottom. I thought it was that last out, and it was. Bottom of the 5th here. 16 well, apparently it wasn't. I make about 2 mistakes a decade, so that's the first one this decade. Halfway through, not bad. I'm kidding, folks. I make plenty of mistakes. So here's Mike Myers. But he was saying, because they've cut the grass so short, and he said that the ball was just a very fast outfield. And there's a high pop-up center fielder coming in, puts it away for the 3rd out. Bottom of the 5th, Future needs a run to keep the game going. And he said that when the ball hits the grass, it was just taken off. And he said it was almost playing like AstroTurf. So I know they cut the grass before the game yesterday. And Chicago area that a lot of the outfields are a little hard. We could use a little rain, hopefully not this weekend. And so as a result of that, fast outfield. Infield in pretty good shape. I was out here a couple of weeks ago and there was a lot of dust on it, but they put a lot of time and work into them to get these fields up to par. So leading off here for Future, looks like a pinch hitter, Joe Vandervoos. And he slaps it. Iggy couldn't make the play originally, but the ball bounced right back up to him for the first out of the inning. So Vandervoos pinch hitting, hit it good, but no luck. Brings up Joey Kutnick, the leadoff man, so he hit for Jordan Purrs. And Kutnik, high fly ball. Dispenza runs it down though. Kutnik hit it good, a little too much oxygen under that ball. And that allowed Dispenza. Well, if I'm not mistaken, the Hall of Fame game is at 9:30. And Hall of Fame came in missing 6 starters from what TJ Flanagan and a couple of the other guys were telling me. We will make a point of trying to get Chuck's and Hall of Fame on the air this weekend, so rest assured we always do. And there's a hard ground ball, and that play is by Iggy, and that'll do it. So flashback, after falling behind 5-0, comes back, laid out the wood, and they end up mercy ruling a very young future team. And I think that second inning kind of took a little of the steam out of this future group. And I think Future hit a couple of too many fly balls. They kind of made it a little easy on Flash, who was struggling early in the game to catch the ball. But their bats overcame that.
All right, on the line.
So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the 2 broadcasts tonight. I got to get back to the tent as we are helping Danny out with the tournament. We got to update some stuff. If the Hall of Fame game is close, we might try to jump in and give you a little bonus coverage later. We'll see how that game plays out. If not, rest assured we'll try to get Chuck's and Hall of Fame on a little later this weekend. So we appreciate you all tuning in. We love you. On behalf of SSA Broadcast, Will Russ, George Bliss, and the rest of our board, we love